This thing that he's doing where he's pretending that he's a woman is very smart.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me.
Some psychopath can just pretend that they're a woman and knock women over on the court.
I gotta take this out.
Norman's a fucking woman, dude. I bet.
Oh,
It's a giant dude. A giant dude who's just dominating these chicks. So the more controversy there is, the more people do come to see them. The crazy thing about the WNBA, imagine if the NBA had the same sexual dynamic. Imagine if the most of the team was a bunch of gay dudes who were like very aggressive.
Welcome back to the Clark Update. WNBA fans, today we're breaking down a story that has triggered serious controversy and intense reactions throughout the basketball world. Joe Rogan has become a major figure in the expanding WNBA debate, with BRITTNey Griner, Sophie Cunningham, and the league itself now being dragged into the discussion. Accusations, criticism, and outspoken opinions are spreading rapidly. But what is really fueling all of this? So, without wasting any time, let's get straight into today's video and break everything down. Some of the biggest names in sports commentary are calling out what they see as double standards within the WNBA on national television, while league executives are reportedly facing increasing pressure as the organization reaches a major ideological crossroads. If you enjoy this content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 73% of viewers still haven't subscribed. It's completely free and takes just a second, but your support means everything to us. So, music. Have you subscribed yet? Perfect. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Now, let's get back to the video. If you can't explain what a woman is, then you're an idiot. This is complete nonsense. And that's exactly what your ideology represents. Your ideology is incredibly stupid.
You can't define what a woman is, then you're an idiot. And this is nonsense. And that's what your ideology is. Your ideology is so stupid, you can't define the difference between a male and a female. And so you've decided that people identifying with something means it's a real thing, and you have to say it because everybody else says it, and they scare you, and they'll cancel you and go after you. So everyone's agreed to nonsense. So this is where we've painted ourselves into this.
Corporate media's early push to aggressively promote political narratives has completely blown up in their faces, triggering a heated public discussion that has spread from major podcast platforms to mainstream television news programs.
Now adding her voice to the debate over transgender athletes, she's a WNBA star, slamming the push to ban biological men from competing against biological women.
So when someone like BRITTNey Griner says, actually, I'm going to fight for men to play in women's sports, it's just another blow against lots of young female athletes.
But they've painted themselves in a corner, because if they don't let the guy in, it looks bad.
Right.
But if they do, he's going to dunk.
Well, the thing is, can you define what a woman is? And until you can't, if you can't define what a woman is, then you're an idiot. And this is nonsense.
During a heated episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, host Joe Rogan sharply criticized the sports establishment, arguing that these organizations have backed themselves into an absurd position where they cannot even explain what a woman is. Rogan laid out what he described as the harsh, uncomfortable realities.
Joe Rogan, a prominent podcaster, one of the things that made him wake up to this issue is he's an MMA fighter.
Correct.
And when Joe Rogan saw biological males who are transitioning to female beating the hell out of biological females in the ring, he started to think,
What are we doing?
What are we
I
doing
remember
here?
seeing
Like,
that.
why are we cheering this on?
If you say anything like, look, trans women aren't women. There are men who identify as women, which is fine, but there's a biological distinction that protects women in sports, and that's chromosomes. We know XX chromosome, you're a woman, XY, you're a dude. Do it that way. Call yourself whatever the fuck you want. But if you want to play in the WNBA, you have to have.
Emphasizing that basic genetics plays a fundamental role in biological reality, with XX chromosomes typically associated with females and XY with males, while warning that allowing biological males to compete in women's sports could weaken the critical protections that Title IX was created to provide.
WNBA have an onus of responsibility to be able to ensure that it's fair playership, though. I don't know if playership's a word.
For college sports and for the WNBA too, 100%. I mean, I don't think it's ever okay for guys to be playing girl sports, but if this is true, then she was like the origin of this epidemic.
Mostly big black gay ladies and a few scared-looking Sophie Cunninghams that have to point fingers at people. You're surrounded by people who think you're perhaps sexually attractive.
They've made it into a reality show. It's become like Real Housewives. They're all just fight now.
Right.
That's the only reason you watch.
But it is an interesting sexual dynamic.
During the discussion, Rogan also pointed to the divisive political atmosphere surrounding the WNBA, explaining how outspoken stars like Sophie Cunningham feel pressured to stand up for what they see as biological reality against league narratives that they believe overlook basic scientific principles.
You're going to have a tremendous platform, but where is that going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes to be able to play?
Oh, I mean, that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know, everyone deserves the right to play.
The WNBA's BRITTNey Griner is a man.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
BRITTNey Griner is, in fact...
When WNBA veteran BRITTNey Griner publicly entered the national conversation, the tension intensified even further. Griner stated on camera that everyone deserves the opportunity to compete in women's sports and promised to use her platform to openly support trans athletes, while criticizing ongoing efforts to keep transgender athletes out of women's competition.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she. To me, like when I'm out in public, like my teammates sometimes will get mad if somebody call me a he, but I'm just like, I don't care. Like, you know, we go sit down and get some food and they're like, sir, what do you want? I'm like, yeah, let me get the steak, medium well. Thank you. I'm in TSA and I'm going through TSA and, you know, the guy pats me down so I could go through. I'm cool. I didn't have people come running like, no, it's a girl. I'm like, hey, you're making it awkward. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to get through. Whoever could pat me down the fastest, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've had the opposite where someone was like, hey, you know, it's just against the rules. Like, he can't pat you down. Like, she has to pat you down. And then she walks up and she's looking at me. She goes looking at my chest, looking me up and down, looking at my chest, trying to look at the ID, making it awkward. Or they'll ask me, you really a girl? Nah, I'm like...
Her comments were immediately met with strong criticism from major news outlets. Author Douglas Murray publicly condemned Griner's statements, calling them deeply harmful to thousands of hardworking female athletes across the country. He argued that her stance could unfairly disadvantage young women competing for equal opportunities, college scholarships, podium finishes, and hard-earned spots on competitive rosters.
Play, so she's now weighed in on this. She's got a big voice.
I suppose it's sort of lucky that BRITTNey Griner's not just starting off, because if these are the rules when she was starting off, then the whole thing might be different. The problem we have in America on this is that there's a very distinct lack, actually, of women defending women in the public square on issues like this. And that isn't the case in every other country. And for instance, in my own country of origin, Britain, there have been very, very prominent women, not just in sports, but across the political and social platforms who have objected to...
Murray pointed out that years earlier, after seeing biological males overpower female opponents in combat sports, even Rogan had recognized the potential dangers surrounding the issue. Griner's comments received praise from activist groups, but female athletes quickly stepped forward to lead a powerful counter-response. Sports figures such as tennis legend Martina Navratilova and two-time Olympian Sharon Davies strongly challenged Griner's position, arguing that biological differences in competition had already denied thousands of female athletes opportunities and resulted in lower finishing places. Navratilova stressed that activists should respect the biological boundaries protecting women's sports and stop trying to redefine the meaning of feminism. Despite the widespread criticism from fans and prominent sports figures, league officials and outspoken activists continue promoting divisive positions that risk further alienating the broader basketball audience.
Woman decided to stand up for women and female spaces. And that woman is now getting lambasted by other women because she doesn't support transgender people in female spaces. Sophie Cunningham, who many of you will probably know from this video, recently got herself in hot water because she had the audacity to say that women and girls should be protected.
WNBA star Sophie Cunningham, who plays guard for the Indiana Fever, when an ESPN feature quoted her opposition towards biological men competing in women's sports. She said she wanted to protect young girls both on court as well as in the locker room, calling her position kind of common sense. It has everything to do with reality.
This growing conflict between corporate ideology and what many consider common sense has placed WNBA leadership in an extremely difficult position. While outspoken athletes like Sophie Cunningham are willing to face public criticism in order to defend the integrity of women's sports, figures like Griner continue pushing narratives that have triggered intense public outrage. The contrast between players speaking openly about their beliefs and others relying on carefully crafted corporate language has exposed serious divisions within the league. However, music. As the media narrative began spiraling beyond control, Griner's own past was suddenly brought back into the spotlight through viral online investigations and resurfaced material, creating a new controversy that league officials are desperately trying to avoid addressing.
This jersey used to represent someone I respected as an athlete. Today it represents something I can't support anymore. Sports have the power to bring people together, but when someone uses their platform to demonize or marginalize an already vulnerable community, I have to decide where I stand. I'm burning my support. As a trans woman, I've spent years fighting just to exist authentically.
I will never understand how these people think this is some sort of a win for their side. Like, I am begging you people to be normal. Despite the monumental freakout, Cunningham didn't back down, which we love.
Viral discussions across major media platforms have put immense pressure on the WNBA front office to control the fallout as public scrutiny reaches unprecedented levels. A group of analysts on the popular commentary show Valuetainment reviewed leaked video footage, resurfaced media reports, and online claims surrounding Griner's past, while drawing attention to what they described as major sports networks remaining largely silent about her period in Russian captivity.
Griner, the WNBA's BRITTNey Griner, is in fact a man.
Value, Brittany. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the fuck.
Damn.
Look at the chest.
Jab stepping, it's the brick. Swing and a miss.
It's very clearly Brittany.
I ain't gonna fake it right now.
They called him/her by their name. And as you can clearly see here, his bare chest is complete.
While private athletic organizations may choose to promote the narratives they believe in, taxpayer-funded sports and educational programs must maintain clear standards of biological fairness. Analysts also pointed to what they viewed as obvious double standards in the way traditional sports outlets report controversial league issues. The panel argued that physical traits including lung capacity, bone density, and overall muscle strength can provide male athletes with significant advantages over female competitors, making biological considerations in sports an important part of the debate. According to their argument, this ongoing media controversy also helps explain why the WNBA has struggled financially while continuing its fight to gain broader mainstream relevance.
Again, cultural power. This is why the WNBA this is not going to go away. This issue is not going to go away. They're in such a bad position here. Caitlin Clark, they have cultural power. People love them. People are buying tickets that would never care about the WNBA. There's a reason why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark. She's not apologizing for saying that there should be no men in this woman's sport. It's caused an absolute crisis, and people are losing their mind.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
These women spent $1,000 on tickets to attend the Indiana Fever versus Atlanta Dream game, specifically to see Sophie.
Before generational talent Caitlin Clark entered the league, women's basketball had spent decades searching for a breakthrough of this magnitude. The sport was transformed almost overnight. She shattered viewing records, packed arenas across the country, and brought women's basketball an unprecedented level of commercial attention. Music. Millions of passionate sports fans began filling stadiums to watch Clark's exciting style of play, incredible shooting range, and genuine love for the game, showing that audiences often want elite basketball rather than constant political drama. Yet league leadership and activist commentators have repeatedly allowed controversial cultural battles to overshadow the sport instead of fully protecting and celebrating Clark's historic impact.
Thing that he's doing where he's pretending that he's a woman is very smart.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me.
Some psychopath can just pretend that they're a woman and knock women over on the court.
I gotta take this out. Norman's a fucking woman, dude. I bet.
Oh, it's a giant dude. A giant dude who's just dominating these chicks. So the more controversy there is, the more people do come to see them. The crazy thing about the WNBA, imagine if the NBA had the same sexual dynamic. Imagine if the most of the team was a bunch of gay dudes who were like very aggressive.
While the WNBA is receiving more public attention than ever, Joe Rogan argued on his program that putting radical posturing ahead of Caitlin Clark's genuine fan base could cause the league to waste an enormous opportunity. The majority of sports fans who simply want fair competition and authentic athletic excellence are represented by players like Sophie Cunningham, who have spoken out in support of their teammates and what they view as common-sense biological principles. Meanwhile, figures who support removing biological boundaries, such as BRITTNey Griner, are facing growing criticism from Americans who value the integrity of women's sports. Ultimately, music, corporate double standards, weak leadership, and imposed political agendas in women's basketball risk exhausting genuine sports fans. Standing up for biological reality is not inherently radical. As outspoken figures like Sophie Cunningham and Martina Navratilova have demonstrated, many believe it is necessary to protect the future of women's athletics. If the WNBA wants to secure its long-term future, league executives need to recognize the concerns of the broader audience, avoid allowing activist pressure to dominate the conversation, and properly support major stars like Caitlin Clark. What do you think about Joe Rogan's criticism of the WNBA and BRITTNey Griner''s position? Do you support Sophie Cunningham's efforts to advocate for biological fairness in women's sports? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, share it with other basketball fans, hit the like, music button, and subscribe to the channel.